Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Dior Holiday Collection Palette that's just been released. This is the palette that it looks like, and in here we have four. You can see here there's 4 different shades of the satin lipstick. We have 2 shades of blusher, 2 highlights and a quint with some gorgeous neutral tones. So I'm going to demonstrate this today along with preparation of my skin. So far this morning I have prepped my skin with skincare and sunscreen, but to make a start, before we apply anything, I'm going to be using a primer, which is the Armani primer. So we just really need a small amount of this. Oops, just getting a little bit low on this product. So just all over. What the primer does is it will even out the skin tone, it will even out any texture in the skin, and just basically prep ready for the foundation. Foundation that I'm using today is the new Christian Dior Forever in the Stick Foundation, and this is shade 2.5 neutral, I think. This is a new foundation to me. I've been using it for some weeks now, but it is an absolutely beautiful product. I would highly recommend it to anybody. I think whenever we're using a stick foundation, our skin's probably got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be in a really good condition. It's not going to hide a lot. If we haven't prepped our skin properly, if we haven't really been taking care of our skin, like exfoliating, that type of thing, a stick foundation can sometimes be a little bit truthful of any flakiness underneath the skin. But in saying that, I think even if you have got quite a dry skin, you're still going to be quite okay using this product. My skin tends to be perhaps a little bit dehydrated, perhaps still a little bit on the oily side, even though I am in my late 50s. And this product just wears and wears on me all day. I don't have any issues with it at all. We get great cover, but it's not a heavy cover. It doesn't feel like a traditional stick foundation, which can be really suffocating on the skin. It doesn't feel anything like that. It's very light in texture. Okay. Next, I'm going to move on to the eye corrector, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury. The purpose of this product is really just to neutralize any of this darkness, redness that you can see around my eye area. It's not a concealer, it's not an eye primer, but it certainly is a corrector. So what it's going to do is just neutralize the darkness or any pigment around the eyes. And have that ready for our eyeshadow primer and concealer. And there we have it. What a difference that makes. For the eyeshadow primer, I've just been trialing the Hourglass. Just a small amount. Just in a nice little tube. Nice and easy for travelling. Just a small amount onto the eyelid area. You can either pat that in with your finger or use a brush. I like this product, although I've also been using a Fenty primer, which, to be honest, I think I enjoy more. But I will keep trialing out the Hourglass. Okay. Next, I'm going to go in with my Chanel. This is the Sublimage concealer. I will put all in the description box. I will put all the colours that I've been using. From memory, I think this is a shade 3. The reason I like this, particularly for mature skins, we do, well, I do anyway, have started to develop some real crepiness underneath my eye area and on the eyelids. So I think we need to be really careful with what products we're using in this area, because they will only accentuate any of the crepiness. One other thing I'll say about this product is you need the tiniest amount. I tend to just dab a couple of little dot points around the eye area and just give that a second to sit. So although being in a jar, you it will last you such a long time. And again, you can use a brush or you can use your fingertip. Quite often the warmth from your finger will help to warm the product and help to move that around a little bit easier. This also has a reflect effect. So it tends to, for the darkness, it tends to reflect light away from that. Okay. Before we consider using our powders, we're going to go in. You can see this crepiness here that's appeared already just from this little small amount of time fiddling around the eye area. So it's very delicate, just go very easily around those areas. Okay, next we're going to go in with our contour, and again I'm using the Christian Dior. This is the new stick, the new stick contour. Shade 3, I think. Again, I will list them. So what we're going to do is just look and see. Anywhere where we add darkness is going to create depth. So what we're trying to do, particularly with mature skin, we're trying to sharpen our features, we're trying to lift our features. So you can see I've just applied this underneath the cheekbone, but not right down into that natural lying contour there. We're actually going right to the very top of that. So we're trying to lift this cheekbone area. I'm going to try a small amount around the temple, the forehead, and contour the nose as well, because we'll come back in and highlight. And we're also going to contour across the jawline to create that sharpness. But again, can you see the way I'm just applying that on top of the jaw? Because what that's going to do is create a shadow underneath, and it's going to make the jaw look much sharper. Particularly when we start to get these little jowls here. You'll see in a minute when I blend it in what a difference it makes. If you're looking for a contour, highly recommend these Dior. And and I'm just using a flat foundation brush. So it's really easy to blend, just starting off with a bit of a tapping motion, a bit of a circular motion, all the way moving up, never down. Don't be tempted to brush this down, because again, it's going to draw all our features down. So we're going to move up. And this contour here, you can see it's sculpting already just into the hairline. All the way around. You can see just little circular motions, but we're pushing this colour in and up towards the cheekbone. See the difference that makes, just that sculpting effect. So wherever we use dark, that's going to create depth or push back. So therefore, wherever we use something highlighting or bright, it's going to bring forward. Okay. Wherever you're not satisfied, you could come back in and perhaps apply a little bit more contour just here. Oh, which I just dropped mine. Sorry about that. Like, you're not going to see it. You're not going to look at somebody and go, oh, we can tell that she's contoured. It's not that. It's just that it creates the shadow. For our aging skin again, a beautiful part of life as we're maturing. Just a little bit onto the very outer edge of the eye and up onto the eye socket, eye bone, up onto the brow bone. Okay, that's our contouring. Very subtle, very easy. Next, I'm going in with my cream bronzer, and again, this is another Dior product that I'm trialing out in the cream. So we just want the bronzer to go wherever the sun would naturally hit our skin. And this time I'm going to blend, but I'm really going to blend into where the contour was. So on the top of the cheekbone, but into where the contour was. Just gentle circular motions. This, on the camera, it's actually looking a lot yellow. It's throwing a lot more yellow than what it really does in true life. But I'll tell you the shade. I think it is. I think it's shade 2. I'm not sure. It was this shade was really, I believe, released as a contour, but the colour that it is, it really is much more beneficial to be a bronzer. Okay, so there we have contour and bronze. Something else that I like to do when I was talking about depth is created by using darkness, and highlight created by using brightening. I use the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat pen. I use that anywhere where there's darkness that I want to bring forward and bring light. It is great for these areas here, you know, again, as we're aging, these natural falls of the skin can look quite deep. So I'm using that just to bring these areas of the face forward. And I use a brush to gently blend that in. You can use your fingers, whichever you find the easiest. And you can see that this is, without looking oily and glowy, it's just brightened up, pushed forward that area of the skin. I do have some texture just around this area here, so I'm going to add a little bit more concealer, but this time I'm using the Armani Luminous Silk. I think all concealers have a different purpose. The purpose of that this concealer is for me to actually try to conceal. So I am just running my brush around the very edges of the concealer to blend that in. I'm not going to be running it straight across because I'll probably end up lifting it. So we're just going to move gently around those areas, around the very edges, and just blend that in. Okay. So once we've finished that, I'm going to go in and set the eye area, starting to prepare for the shadow. I have done my brows off camera, but I'm going to go in now with, I'm going to use my Givenchy Prisme shadow, powder, just to set the concealer, under eye concealer. This has a lovely blurring effect. There's been a lot of hype about this product because the formula has been changed. They removed the talc. A lot of people, which I watch on YouTube, have veered away from using the new product. Fortunately, unfortunately, I haven't got to try the new product. I'm still using the original, which I really love. The one that I have is in the shade 04, I believe, and I have some green and some purple. So these, which help to counteract any imperfections on our skin, these different tones. It also has two of the more beige tones. The green will counteract any redness in the skin, and the purple will counteract any sallowness in the skin. So this is just so soft and gentle, easy to use under the eye. I'm going to use a little bit across the eyelid. And then for the rest of the face, I'm going to use my Chanel loose powder. I prefer a matte finish, and I think what we're trying to achieve with the maturing skin is we're trying to achieve some glow without looking oily. As I said, I do have some oil through my skin. I still like to have a beautiful shimmer, a beautiful sheen on my skin, a glow. And I don't think by using a powder it's going to completely defeat using a highlighter to bring out glow onto our skin. We want our skin to look as healthy and as glowing as possible with the makeup that we're using. So I think we're now ready to start to go in and try this new palette by Christian Dior. Haven't used this, so let's see how we go. Okay, to start with, I'm going to go into this neutral shadow here in the socket of the eye area. I'm then going to go into the deeper colour here on the outer edge of the eye, blending it in towards the centre using this beautiful soft sort of, not quite sure how to describe that colour. It's a very neutral brown, but it has got some pink in it. I think then we will finish off with some of this gold. So let's make a start. So going in with this beautiful taupe into the socket area of our eye, up onto the bone. And again, as we get older, everything starts to go south. So we need to recreate some height in our eyes. So don't go in and just apply shadow where your natural crease is, because it's going to end up looking very heavy on the eye and actually make your eyes look very droopy. So what you can see I'm doing is I'm creating a new socket, really. I'm creating a new area here with the brush. It's a nice big fluffy brush. And instead of going right onto that contour line, I'm going just slightly above it. I'm going onto that contour but slightly above the eye. And you can see straight away that that's created a lifting a look on the eye. So anybody that's thinking about getting this palette, I suggest you do so very quickly, because they're sold out on the Dior website. I've just checked this morning. David Jones in Australia still have this palette available. It has sold out everywhere else from what I can see. And it's sold out very quickly. Normally I'm not a person that would go for a palette with lipsticks and blushes and that sort of thing. But the thing that was so appealing in this is just the colours are just so outstanding. They're just so beautiful. And they're really quite different to anything else. Okay, so we're finishing off in the crease line with that beautiful taupey. It's almost like a coffee, sort of a dark coffee colour. Then I'm going to come in with this much deeper colour right in the very outer edge. Again, I'm using a big fluffy brush, but I'm also going to work with a smaller tapered brush with the deepest colour, just in the very outer corner of the eye and directly onto the crease. So we're starting to create some depth in the outer corner of the eye. We haven't changed the colour palette significantly, but we're just creating depth. So we've got this beautiful taupey colour with some reflect in it up on the crease line, up on the brow bone, and then we're coming in with this deeper and just blending all the time. So we're just pushing, moving the colour forward, blending up onto the crease, up onto that orbital bone. I think blending's one of the big secrets when it comes to eye makeup. Just continual blending, continually looking back and assessing and thinking where I need some more depth, where I need some more brightness. So you can see this eye here. It's probably just a touch of shadow that's a little bit too low. So with my concealer brush, which has still got some product left on it, I'm just going to come back and just tidy that up. Next, we're coming into this shade here, which is the brown with a little bit of very deep pink. So burgundy, really. We're just going to apply that onto the very center of the eye, but just so it's running from the deeper color just to the center of the eye. These colors are very buildable. I would say go in lightly and then come back and build. I'm just going to come back and add a little bit more of this very dark color on the edge. And then the gold that's in the center of the palette, I'm going to finish with that just in the corner here and blending that up onto the brow bone. So the look that I'm trying to achieve is really like a wash of colours. It's not so we can see where one colour starts and ends and the next colour starts and ends. It's really just so there's a gentle wash. And I think I'm going to try with the gold that's in the centre of the shadow. I'm just going to bring that up just to blend everything together and up towards the brow. It's such a subtle colour. The lightest colour in the shade, it looks like, I think it's a matte. It's a matte. I'm just going to try a little bit in the, maybe not. Maybe just a tiny bit under the brow. It's the white colour. I think that's a beautiful colour, beautiful palette. Continuing on with the eyes, I am going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Liner. I talked about this in one of my other videos that I'm still trialling. It's in between a felt tip and a pen and a brush, beg your pardon. It's in a very deep, almost black plum. Just starting at the edge of the eye. And running that brush across while it's resting on the lashes. Just while that's taking a second to dry, I'm going to come back in with the taupey brown shadow. Put that right along underneath the bottom lashes of the eye. And then come back with the very deepest colour in the palette and just a tiny bit on the very outer edge. Again, just so it's meeting where we've applied the deeper colour on the top. So there we have it. Just going to apply some mascara, the Dior Lash Curl Mascara. Can't think of the exact name. It's one coat. Find if you can try to get right into the base of your lashes and just give that wand, the mascara wand, a bit of a twist and a bit of a lift. It'll give it that beautiful lifting effect. And there we have it, my friends, for the eyes. They're beautiful colours. I'd highly recommend them. Now, let's go in and have a look at the blush. I think I'm going to try this very neutral shade. I'll try this one to start with today because I think I probably want to end up with this lipstick here, with this lip. So I'm thinking that might be the best colour to start with. So I'm just using a small contouring brush. And you can see where I'm applying the shadow, the blush. I'm not, a lot of people you watch on YouTube would be starting down here with the blush. I think that's great when you've got a younger skin, a younger structure in the face. But as I said again, as we get older and our face structure changes, we're wanting to lift everything. We're wanting to bring attention to that upward look. So I find for myself, I start on the very top of my cheekbone, but it's not, I'm not pulling it down here onto the apple of our cheek. And I must say, I'm very surprised with this blush. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's giving a lot more payoff than what I thought it would. A lot more colour. The beauty of having a palette like this is, particularly over the Christmas season, if you happen to be traveling, you can really just grab this palette and go. And you've basically got your makeup with you. You might like to just grab one of your foundations, maybe the stick foundations. That's really quick and easy to use. So there you can see, that's the blush. I think it's stunning. On top of that, I'm going to add one of these highlighters, and I think I'm going to go in here into this golden colour. Again, just on the very top. It's very subtle. So that's good. You're not going to get too much of a reflect, but just enough. Okay.